Good morning. This is just an update video for you guys to see for myself and for anybody who's interested in what I'm doing. I'm pretty much just a really novice gardener I'm just learning as much as I can. I'm always just about my third year growing stuff from seeds. But one of the big tests I did this year was testing between native soil, 50% native soil, and 50% compost versus a light seed starting mix. And the biggest place that I saw the difference was in the tomatoes. So in this back row here, these two rows, that's from the potting soil mix. And I think it's just likely that there wasn't enough nutrients in the soil. Um, and also, I think tomatoes like a little bit more acidic soil, so maybe that had something to do with it. And maybe just use it up. But I tried to transplant as soon as I could. I probably could have started a little earlier, but this was last night. I was potting until about 12:30, getting all my things out of the flats. The other thing that I did was I tried three different. Actually, I did 6 variables. So I used this flat with the half potting mix, well, half native soil and half compost. And I planted kales, mostly kales and bok choy, and then also what was the other one? Gailan in here. Just an update on this box that didn't really actually work very well, and I think one of the things I did is I put the seeds a little bit too close, and also I don't think I've made the seeds deep enough. Um, I was following an Alan Chadwick method that said, cover the seeds to the depth of the seed size, and kales and gailans and cabbages have these tiny seeds, so I didn't cover them that much. And what ended up happening, I wish I had an example, is that the rootstock, the when I would mist the seeds, the plants would bend over, and man, I know I should have taken a video when I was doing that. They would actually crease at the base of the plant. So like, if you were to look down at this plant, this is a spinach, so it's not a good example. Do I have any more kales over here? Okay, here would be something, but what was happening is that the plants were getting like twice as high, and then they would fall over, and then it would break the stem, and then the root system would be damaged. They would fall over like this, and then on that, right at that point, it would get creased, and then it couldn't properly get into the soil. So I don't know if there's a couple problems here. First of all, the depth of the box is too high, so it's not able to get any kind of even sunlight. So I think the plants are reaching, and then also I don't think the seed depth was deep enough. So that's a lesson. So I did that. This was the 50-50. This was one of the planting containers. Then I also did another container for the things that needed to have good heat to germinate well. This is where all the tomatoes were, right here. And it's actually on a heating pad. So that, and the peppers too. Peppers haven't been transplanted yet. I had these sweet bells that I've been trying to grow for 3 seasons. And I think it's so funny because I keep giving myself a hard time for not being able to grow these things. But I just think I got bunk seeds because all the other peppers that I've been growing have been fine. The other thing that sucked is that well, one of the things that sucked, you can see here, we had some mice friends come in and eat some of our stuff. So that's one of the, and that was a really big bummer because I had just planted this first round of kale, and I'm actually leaving them to see if they'll survive. But mice ate the tops off of all of those right there. And they ate some of the seeds of they really like the cucumber seeds. And another thing I learned from this round is that When you're using flat, so this is another one of the mediums or containers I use, and you can see this is the light potting soil mix here. And this is the 50-50. You can see an eggshell in there. What I found is that, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the center channel of this tray got soaked. So when I was watering, misting these, I had melons all in this row here, and most of the melons didn't make it because I made them too wet. I think it's easy when it's in the center is that the center is always getting wet. So when you're misting seeds, it's really, you got to be really mindful to think about how to water evenly, because if you just put your watering thing over it, I mean, of course I was trying to do something like this, it still soaked the center way more. Another one of the things that was a bummer is, and maybe these things just take longer to germinate. One of my favorite foods to use is what is it? Pak choy, like mini bok choy. And actually, I planted quite a few of them. I actually planted a whole row here, and none of them really germinated very well. And like I was saying earlier, oh yeah, here's a good example of that. I was saying earlier with the, oh, I'm not going to focus. And see how it got kinked right there? All of the pak choy got ruined in the flats. It did not work. And so I'm not 100% certain why that is. Maybe the seeds, I think the seeds weren't deep enough. And again, the depth with the even lighting probably didn't help. But that's it. I'm excited about these beets. This is a 1,000-year-old beet variety. And here is some Tokyo green onions. And those peppers I actually got seeds I got at the dollar store. I gotta get some more peppers. Probably gonna do another succession, hopefully in the next week. And this will be doubling in size here in the next month. But yeah, I can just go over what I'm planting. Here's Russian red and Leticiano kale and a curly kale. I got 4 different types of tomatoes. Marble stripe, which is always a good heirloom. A large cherry tomato. I did like sun golds last year, and there was just too many of them. Too many to be eaten, so I'm trying to use a bigger variety this year of the cherries for the kids to pick. And then this one is supposed to be a stew. It's called black for sage or something. And this is a new one, Kellogg's, which is an interesting heirloom looking one. What's interesting about the Kellogg's is that it took significantly longer to germinate, and the leaves themselves are just smaller. They had pretty much the same conditions, so it's just a more delicate tomato compared to these guys. And then there's Gailan, which is my favorite. It's Chinese broccoli. It's delicious. And then I have a bunch of cucumbers and the delicata squash. There's a Japanese climbing cucumber, a straight 8, and an early fortune. Now what is this here? Oh, this is the one surviving melon. It's a cantaloupe. We'll see what that does. But that's it. Alright, have a good day.